Alright guys, we are back. Today was easily the craziest day for me in cryptos period, especially the last 3 hours specifically, compared to the last 6 months that I've been involved with cryptos. So it was just like generally hectic with how there was the planned hard fork, the Bitcoin Segwit 2x, and how it was cancelled several days ago. And that led to people quickly trying to buy the alts as they spiked. Many people did not get it because, including myself, because they were expecting that they have some sort of heads up or warning and they were going to plan to buy the alts a few days before the scheduled fork on like the November 15th. But it happened all of a sudden. So on top of that craziness being cancelled, we had this whole Bitcoin Cash run up. Now we saw people jumping from the miners, jumping from Bitcoin to Bitcoin Cash because it was more profitable. And then we saw the Korean market on BitDom, that one really increasing huge volume. It's like a huge pumping of Bitcoin Cash for we don't really know what reason. Maybe Roger Ver and Jihan Wu are trying to make some moves or something. I mean, at the rate it was going up, you think the Korean government would have made the Bitcoin Cash its national currency or something. But anyways, if we look at generally the 1 month graph of the Bitcoin, we see how like as it goes on closer and closer, to the hard fork date, we see huge pump up, huge, all the way of a Bitcoin price of 7,770. Essentially, until they announced several days ago that the hard fork is cancelled. So naturally, it's going to retrace because people were expecting the fork and the free money, essentially. So they took the money out, they put in alts. But then something unprecedented happened, just, I believe, starting from the 10th of November. Bitcoin Cash really started pumping. And as it started pumping, we see that Bitcoin price just keeps going down. And I'll show you more clearly in a few minutes on the 1 day chart for Bitcoin. But here's just a general 1 month price points of Bitcoin Cash, just slowly consolidating and accumulating slowly. And then, jumps up a little there into the 400s. Then the 500s, and then 600s, and then it's just kind of lays low for several days, almost as if they knew and they were just accumulating that this sort of concerted country nationwide pump was going to happen. So, and then it just explodes. It explodes here, it explodes, and boom, it just takes off there. And as this is going up here, the Bitcoin is really going down hard. So we go to Bitcoin's 1 day graph. So we see more specifically, it's hanging around kind of a strong 6,700. It goes down, jumps up and down between like 6,500 and 6,200 several times as we see here. But several hours ago, the craziest thing happened. It for the first time dipped below the 6,000. And again, you have to remember, at this time, Bitcoin Cash was just keep going up from 1,300, 1,500, 1,700. I was checking. I could not believe this. It's like a joke or something. So the craziest thing happened when Bitcoin Cash was around 2,500 or so US dollars. The Bitcoin actually crashed so hard to 5,500. So it was at that moment that, of course, I thought I would be for the ride. There's some gains to be made. But when I saw Bitcoin crashing that fast, I'm like, hold on. There's some whales playing here. This is some serious institutional money moving stuff around. And the scariest part was that within about 30 seconds, it went from 5,500 to 6,000. It went to almost 6,000, almost $500 increase within like 30 seconds. It was for me at that point personally that I decided to take my money out. I'd already made a good profit, and as you know, with the name of this game, the main point is to not lose money. That's a golden principle. And on top of that, if you can make money, that's just a bonus. That's a great bonus to make money. But the main goal is to just hold solid, hodl, and to not lose money. And if you lose money, on the other hand, that's very bad. So I said, okay, I made very good gains. I will take out. Because it was at that point that I'm like, no way, man. No way that this kind of jump is safe to stay in. There are people making millions, millions, maybe even billions. This is crazy. This is times for the whales are fighting right now. I have had my profits. So, anyways, here's the huge increase all the way to 2,500. And then just boom, it crashes. And as it crashes, I saw it. I was on at least Bittrex myself personally, the exchange I was using. I saw as the Bitcoin price was going up, the ratio was going down. It's like, okay, well, how is this happening? The Bitcoin Cash is still like 2,300, 2,400. Why is the ratio going down? And then, whoa, you go to CoinMarketCap and you see that Bitcoin is coming back from like 5,500 to 6,000, all the way back to like 6,500. Increase of $1,000 of Bitcoin within like 2 or 3 minutes. So it's like a 15% increase in just that little time. That is crazy. So I just thought, that's it. I will scalp the profits and I will be happy with that. Now, it was interesting because I was going through the subreddit of BTC, which is the one for Bitcoin Cash. So there's all this, not necessarily propaganda, but all these cheerful threads saying it's a flippening and it's happening finally. So, there's like a psychological effect where after a while, you're like, wait, could this be real? Is this really going to actually take over Bitcoin? And then you start thinking, this is no longer to make a profit. This is to save your funds. This is to save your money because Bitcoin is going down. Now, I want to highlight that because it's so easy to get wrapped up in the emotions of this market. You lose track, you lose the fundamentals saying, hey, this is Bitcoin. It's been through so much worse. This is Bitcoin. It's been around for so long, so much consensus and overall support of Bitcoin Core over Bitcoin Cash. But that almost seems to all go out of the window when you get wrapped up in the threads, the emotions, the Telegram groups saying the flip is happening. And so at that moment, it's starting to get to me. It was even rattling my foundations, my foundational belief in Bitcoin. So I controlled myself. I said, no, that's not it. That's okay. And even after reading that, I said, it's okay. I'm going to take my profits. I'm going to take it because I believe in Bitcoin. I don't believe that just because I flip, I get double my Bitcoin back, that it's, I'm nervous because Bitcoin is going to disappear. No, this was a concerted attack on Bitcoin, and while it's probably far from over, we see here that the huge drop of Bitcoin Cash, the pump is probably over, although this is cryptoland, I could be wrong, but it seems like an enormous sell-off has happened, so it's probably fair to say it's safe, that it's going to cool off now, especially since tomorrow it's the hard fork of Bitcoin Cash, and it's not really a hard fork in the sense that you get the extra coins, like with like the Bitcoin Cash original one in August Force, or the Bitcoin Gold or something like that, or B2X. This is just a hard fork like, Ethereum Metropolis. It hard forked, but there's no chain split, so you don't get free money. So tomorrow night, basically the difficulty of the mining for the Bitcoin Cash will go up 400%. So you get 4 times harder to mine. So probably the miners might even jump from Bitcoin Cash tomorrow to Bitcoin, and then everything should have stabilized back then. So yeah, just you must be careful not to get sucked in to the psychological trap and getting scared. Have the faith in the Bitcoin. Have the faith and don't be so easily swayed by price manipulation like this and a bunch of threads saying that it's over for Bitcoin and Bitcoin's going down and everything. So always keep that in mind. But again, always keep the open mind. Try to see what other people are explaining, but understand that they have a lot to gain. Maybe they're holding bags, so you must always keep that in the back of your mind. Wow. So that was a great lesson. Very high adrenaline. That was a great lesson for me. First time I've gone through something this crazy, but and at this point, I would say, in my opinion, this is not financial advice, but I pulled my profits because, again, once I saw the price of Bitcoin going up by $500 within, I think, like 15 seconds, I said no more. That's now big money is coming in. Maybe someone pulled the stops and they're really trying to recover Bitcoin or something. I don't know. Or they're just trying to create more FUD or something to get more profits, scalping profits off. So at this point, I would say do so at your own peril. It was more safe or stable like yesterday or 2 days ago. But at this point, if you want, it's very bloody waters. It's a frenzy out there. So if you want, you're brave, go in there. I would not personally recommend it. But, just stay careful out there. And hopefully after the increased mining difficulty is implemented for the Bitcoin Cash tomorrow, 4 times increase of mining difficulty, then the miners should jump back to Bitcoin, and then the price should stabilize. And that is to say that Bitcoin, yes, its price wasn't naturally raised to 7,700 or just generally to the 7,000 price point it got. It was a bit unnatural and pumped up because in anticipation of the B2X fork. So Bitcoin should still retrace, but I don't think it's going to retrace that hard, that fast. So hopefully we are out of the woods, but just take it slow. There's always, you can pull profits all the way back into fiat, or if you're comfortable with Tether, you can get Tether as well. So, or because, again, you saw how much the price of Bitcoin here, right over here, jumped within just a very tiny amount of time, maybe you would think it's not worth it to get Tether, because at this point, the fundamentals seem to be out. Maybe it's a big deal if Bitcoin goes up 200 or 300 within one day. That's a huge, huge deal. But when this goes more than Bitcoin has maybe gained in one day, $500 in 30 seconds, which is, I don't know, orders of magnitude more of a change in price of Bitcoin than has happened before. I don't think it's safe. I would just keep the stuff in Bitcoin. With Tether, I don't know. Maybe it can go to 7,000 again. Maybe it goes huge up or huge down. I would just keep it in Bitcoin now and just ride out the waves. And then perhaps just to close it off, just keep your eyes on the alts, because I guess you could see this as the main exciting event that was supposed to be the B2X hard fork, but this kind of took its place. Perhaps now the money will, after people presumably made money off of the Bitcoin Cash Pump, they have more Bitcoin to put into altcoins. So perhaps the early birds will, once they pull out of Bitcoin Cash, they will consider putting into alts. So keep your eyes on that in the next 1 or 2 days as well. So, all right, guys, this was crazy. I hope it went okay for you guys and it was a good learning experience. But just always remember, try to keep the emotions at the door and always try to make calm and rational decisions. All right, guys. Well, hopefully see you guys tomorrow. Take care.